Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Battle for Arvind Kejriwal's custody was fought tooth and nail in the trial court just till a short while ago, while the ED has declared the Delhi Chief Minister as the kingpin of the Liquorgate scam. AAP Supremo's defense argued against the need for an arrest, especially right now, weeks ahead of general elections. Not often have we seen big political names actually being arrested in corruption cases. After Hemant Soren, Arvind Kejriwal is the second chief minister to fall into custody of agencies recently. Although Soren resigned as chief minister, while Kejriwal's party is insisting that he will not. Add K. Kavita's arrest to the mix along with Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh. This Liquorgate saga has become possibly the biggest giant slayer of all corruption cases in Indian history. You could look at it as a watershed moment where the high and mighty are being brought down to earth, or as opposition would put it, this is a classic telltale sign of an undeclared emergency, particularly before a general election. Now, Indie bloc leaders have been to the Election Commission's door to raise this matter. The Aam Aadmi Party is writing furiously to the EC as well. Opposition leaders, particularly other sitting chief ministers, have outraged. Interestingly though, in none of these high-profile arrests, especially recently, is there any sense of public outrage. That's just the times we live in, or is there a message there? There are no spontaneous outbursts from the public or rallying against any government or agency action. This does not augur well for the opposition. Does the opposition have any public sympathy against these arrests? And how may these arrests affect the upcoming elections? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. Let me first break down what happened in court. Arvind Kejriwal was presented in the Rouse Avenue court, and here is what transpired. The judgment or the order has been reserved and we are waiting to hear from the court. Now, the ED's case, Additional Solicitor General S.V. Raju appeared for them and tagged Arvind Kejriwal as the kingpin of the excise policy scam. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who was representing Arvind Kejriwal, argued that there is a need to show the necessity to arrest, which the ED had not. Now, ED has also alleged that Kejriwal had disobeyed multiple summons already. He did not give correct facts when they went to interrogate him. Kejriwal's defense was that there was nothing to show that he cannot give required information without arrest, even now. Now, ASG Raju argued that those involved in the functioning of the party, Aam Aadmi Party in this case, were deemed to be guilty because their case is that the AAP received kickbacks because of the policy tweaks. To which Kejriwal's counsel said that reason to believe and material in the possession of an accused must have a causal link. The threshold is very high at the level of the word guilty. The agency argued that there was corroboration by witness statements and call records to point to Arvind Kejriwal's involvement. They have said that they are holding him guilty not just as an individual but also vicariously because he is in charge of the affairs of the party. Now, Abhishek Manu Singhvi argued that 50% of the people haven't named him, 82% have not mentioned any dealings with him. So on what basis is Arvind Kejriwal's connection being made? The other big question now is what happens next? Can Arvind Kejriwal continue as the Chief Minister of Delhi even as we await judgment on his custody? ED, remember, has demanded 10 days of it. Now, there are multiple facets to the question of whether Arvind Kejriwal can continue or not. Constitutionally, an arrest does not bar him from holding a constitutional post. The law actually only bars you from holding a post once you are convicted. Many ministers in the past have been jailed and have been under trials and have continued to be part of a cabinet without a portfolio. There's only one case of a former central minister who worked from inside jail, but generally they continue without a portfolio. Satyendra Jain held his ministerial berth for months, for example, after arrest. In Arvind Kejriwal's case, it's interesting to note he does not hold any portfolio. But does that mean he can continue to be chief minister in name? Maybe technically yes, but a chief minister who is away from his office is not doing any good to his constituents. A chief minister's absence also means the government is rudderless. That argument can be made to allege constitutional breakdown or a crisis. Given that Delhi is not a full state, the LG can step in and recommend dismissal of the government itself and seek president's rule. He can do so under Article 239AB, which gives him the power to invoke the breakdown of constitutional mechanism. The Aam Aadmi Party says that Arvind Kejriwal will continue to be the Chief Minister, and so far there is no hunt for a successor. But can Kejriwal dispense his duties as Chief Minister from behind bars? Here is more. Now, as per Jail Manual Rule 1349, what an under trial is allowed to do while in prison is defined. So this does not include receiving files or signing them. It's not mentioned in the jail manual. That's not a facility available to anyone serving time pending trial. While there is no bar on meetings with lawyers, an under trial cannot chair meetings with anyone outside of his or her defense team. No orders can be issued either. So how will a chief minister run a government even without a portfolio from jail is the big question. No wonder then that from the likes of J. Jayalalitha to Lalu Yadav to more recently Hemant Soren, all have resigned when they were arrested or about to be arrested. Now, opposition leaders have united in their defense of Arvind Kejriwal. Many have called this an assault on democracy. I just want to outline what some of the big leaders are saying. Mamata Banerjee, for example, West Bengal Chief Minister, has said that it is outrageous that opposition chief ministers are being targeted and that this is a blatant assault on Indian democracy. Not surprising, most of these statements have been made in the past as well. M.K. Stalin, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, DMK Chief, has said fascist BJP government is sinking to despicable depths. There is a relentless persecution which is smacking of witch hunt at this stage. What is Pinarayi Vijayan, Kerala Chief Minister and left tall leader, is saying? Callous plot to silence opposition voices. This calls for resistance of abuse of power. Remember, Arvind Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party has announced nationwide protests. It looks like the Indie bloc could also come together. Speaking of that bloc, what is Congress's Rahul Gandhi saying? He's saying a scared dictator is creating a dead democracy. Arrest of elected chief ministers is a common thing. I'm guessing he means it's a common thing now, because it is actually not that common in Indian politics. With that, the big question we're asking today is simply this. As far as all of these big political arrests are concerned, particularly in the case of Liquorgate, does the opposition genuinely have public sympathy? And is their narrative truly resonating with the public?
इनको भी जेल में जाना पड़ा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट से लेके अन्य कोर्ट ने उनको राहत नहीं दी है। क्या अरविंद केजरीवाल कानून से ऊपर है?
Issue of Kejriwal itself is showing clear political vendetta against opposition parties and their leaders.
उन्हें किसी चीज के लिए गुनहगार पाया नहीं गया है। जेल में बंद रखना ये भी उनके साथ एक सोची समझी साजिश है।
Harish Khurana of the BJP is joining us. So is Siddharth Sharma of the Aam Aadmi Party. Arshpreet Singh Kadial from the Congress. AP Singh is former CBI director for the agency point of view is joining us. I do thank you all for your time. We are awaiting once again the order from the trial court, Rouse Avenue Court, on Arvind Kejriwal's custody battle. And I mentioned how fiercely it was fought in court earlier. But I want to discuss the political import of what is transpiring. Siddharth, the principal question I'm asking this evening is this. You've seen multiple arrests of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders. You've seen the chief minister, who hasn't resigned, also being under custody now, or at least, been arrested as it stands. But there doesn't seem to be, unlike what the Aam Aadmi Party would claim, great public sympathy for you. Your workers are protesting on ground and, fair enough. But it's not as if the public believes Arvind Kejriwal has been wronged here.
Well, two or three things here. One is that if what the public believes, a few weeks ago, Aam Aadmi Party cadres did a survey across 25 lakh homes in Delhi and asked the people that if Arvind Kejriwal is going to be arrested, what should he do? And the people of Delhi, 95% overwhelmingly said that they have voted for Arvind Kejriwal to serve them, and they would want to serve, and they would want him to serve them from wherever he wants. Now, for the second point that you said, that answers the public sympathy question. Before this program, in your opening statements, you said something about a law and order constitutional crisis and a president's rule being recommended. The question is, who approves the president's rule now? The lame duck Modi government? Because Modi government is right now a lame duck government. Everything is under the election commission. So who recommends a president's rule and who approves it?
The LG would make a recommendation for it, and the president will have to approve it.
The president does not approve of anything unless the cabinet or the ministry says so, and the ministry is a lame duck Modi government right now.
Your point being?
My point being that this is redundant. The second redundancy that I'll tell you. You said something about the jail manual permitting something and not permitting something. My answer to that is that India is being governed not by some jail manual, but the Constitution of India. Show me one shred of evidence in the Constitution of India where it says that the Chief Minister of a state has to serve from X, Y or Z place.
It's not about whether he has to serve from X, Y, Z place. It's whether can he actually discharge his duties from inside a jail cell. But Siddharth, that's the question I'll come to in just a bit. My main question to you was this. The opposition narrative is that opposition leaders are being wronged. They're being, fixed into these cases, and there's absolutely nothing against them, and all of this is happening in just ahead of elections. And in this case, you could argue this has happened barely 4 weeks before the first phase of polling. But that's not the sentiment on ground, I'm sorry to say. Is that some realization? Are opposition parties noting that? Is that a worry for you?
Again, coming back to it, if you have put me in a hot seat today, Shivani, and I'm the accused here, so I need a little bit of margin at least for the people to listen. It's a basic courtesy that I deserve. What I say, whether it makes sense or not, let the wisdom of the News 18 viewer, let them decide about it. Now, when you say whether people are accepting this or not, I think you should just go on Twitter and see what the BBC has said, what the Washington Post has said, what the finance.
You're completely sidestepping my question.
Again, you are stopping me.
But you're sidestepping my question.
Shivani, you are not giving the wisdom of the viewers of the News 18 enough leeway. If I'm not talking sense, let them decide.
No, you have to answer my question. I'm asking about the public. You're talking about media houses.
I'm coming to that. Didn't I answer it to you in the very first sentence when I said that 95% of the people of Delhi, when 25 lakh people were surveyed, they have overwhelmingly said that I think the viewers of TV News 18 are intelligent enough.
So where are these people? My question is this, Siddharth, there's no need to get needlessly agitated. Just relax for a second. I'm trying to get a perspective from your party about what is going on in Indian politics. You've had Sanjay Singh's arrest, Manish Sisodia's arrest, Satyendra Jain's arrest. You've had Arvind Kejriwal's arrest. Now, I'm not even going into K. Kavita's arrest because it's a different polity down there. But in Delhi, your government is hugely popular. You've won multiple mandates. But the public is not out on the streets, or there is no, overt sentiment that something truly ghastly has taken place. Is that because he is not popular? I'm not suggesting that. Is it because the public is not buying the narrative that you are being wronged, that there is nothing to proceed against you?
So is News 18 anchor Shivani Gupta instigating the people to leave their work and come to the streets and make a chaos? I don't
Didn't
think
you call for a nationwide protest? What does that mean?
Isn't it happening? Isn't a nationwide protest happening? Isn't it happening?
Where is it happening?
If you are not covering it, just go to the PTI website and see from Kerala to Kashmir. In your own show right now, the leader from Kashmir to Kerala are speaking about death of democracy.
Yeah, so they're speaking, of course, and I'm representing that precisely. Thank you for giving me that vote. That I'm representing exactly what the opposition leaders are saying. There's a difference between opposition leaders saying and making statements versus a genuine public sentiment. That's the point I'm making. All right, I have to move ahead.
From Kerala to Kanyakumari.
I have to move ahead. I want to go across to Arshpreet before I bring in the BJP as well. Arshpreet, you know, the other big question on the minds of the public today is that how do you reconcile with the Congress's position on Liquorgate scam? Some of your leaders have come out in public, done press conferences, called for Arvind Kejriwal's arrest in the past, and actually have claimed that they were the ones who blew the whistle on this scam. Today, you're standing with Arvind Kejriwal in precisely this case. Is that not a confusing stand?
I'll answer your question, Shivani. Please allow me a minute and a half uninterrupted. Less and less days to go for the elections. More and more arrests and freezing of the accounts is going to be witnessed by the enforcement of dictatorship, by the IT, by the CBI, basically by the Bharatiya Janata Party. First, the leader of India bloc, Mr. Hemant Soren, was arrested. One chief minister. Second chief minister of the and a leader of India bloc was arrested, Mr. Kejriwal. Then the country's principal opposition party, Congress's accounts were frozen. All of this happens just before the Lok Sabha elections are to arrive. Now, here the main concern is, the most important point is, that the matter that pertains to Mr. Kejriwal of Delhi liquor policies of 2021. Why was he not arrested in 2022? Why was he not arrested in 2023? As far as Mr. Soren is concerned, he could have been arrested a long time ago. Why was he not? The matter that pertains to Congress party, the freezing of the accounts, pertains to 2018-19, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Just before Lok Sabha election, you had to freeze their accounts. So this goes on to suggest that the Bharatiya Janata Party is up for political vendetta, that the Bharatiya Janata Party is scared, that the Bharatiya Janata Party is anxious, that they are going to be ousted, therefore they are attacking the India bloc.
Now please answer my question.
Number three, one last point, please, Shivani. So number three is that the Bharatiya Janata Party has a history of misusing these agencies. Fact number one is that 95% of the opposition, 95% cases registered by the ED and the CBI are allegedly against the opposition parties. Second, that when the electoral bonds data came out, we saw 84 companies that were raided by these agencies. Some time after that, subsequent to that, gave a lot of donations to the Bharatiya Janata Party. 84 companies. Now, where did the ITD CBI action go there?
Okay.
Why did you not?
Arshpreet, I've got to come in now. Answer my question. You call Kejriwal corrupt. You call this policy corrupt. You asked for his arrest. Now you're quibbling over timing?
Now, answering your question, Shivani. The fact here is that if Mr. Kejriwal or Mr. Soren or any other opposition party leader had done something wrong, let's say in 2021, in 2017, in 1993, the action should have followed then and there, not just before the Lok Sabha election. It is the timing that gives it all away. It is the timing that...
You called him guilty in the past. Is he guilty or not of corruption?
Well, that's for the courts
to decide. Or the guilt only lasts, let's say, till 6 months before an election. 6 months in the run-up to an election, you are not guilty anymore.
Answering your question, now I do not know if the Bharatiya Janata Party believes that or not, but it's for the judge and it's for the court to decide, not for the party to decide. But the Bharatiya Janata Party, of course, has a different way of operating. They say we are the judge, jury and executioner, and then
what do you believe? What is the Congress Party's principal stand on Liquorgate scam? Because your leaders have been on my show claiming credit for blowing the whistle of this quote-unquote scam.
Bilkul. Two things to that. First,
yes, very quickly.
We believe that it is for the honorable courts to decide. They are very competent. We have full faith in them. It is for the court to decide. It is innocent until proven guilty, however. Number two, if the Bharatiya Janata Party and you, Shivani, are giving so much regard and respect to our statements, I have also said.
I'm asking for what is your stand today?
That's what I'm saying. It's for the court to decide. Second, one last slide, Shivani.
Yes, one last slide.
So since the BJP and you have given us so much regard to our statements, we have also said that there should be an inquiry instituted against the electoral bond.
Yes, I debated that just yesterday. Thank you very much.
One more thing on top of that.
No, one last line. One last line is that. Ashpreet, your time is up. Sorry, time is up. I want to go across to Harish Khurana. Harish Khurana, you know, a lot of people feel that it's not just about, you know, plain and simple legalities when it comes to these cases. You know as well as anybody else, politics is also about perception. And the way these agencies are acting right now, you're leaving nothing to anybody's imagination about what the end goal here is. Why should the opposition not read into the pattern where you go slow in some cases for as long as it suits you, or you go slow in a case when a leader joins you, and then suddenly 4 weeks in, ahead of a general election, you've arrested a sitting chief minister?
Shivani, we should understand 9 summons have been issued to Arvind Kejriwal since last October. That time we were 10 months away from elections, Lok Sabha elections. So the allegation which has been made by opposition that because the elections are coming, we have got arrested Arvind Kejriwal. So that has gone flat. Point is, you got no relief from any of the courts since last 3-4 days. Court, you said we will be joining, Arvind Kejriwal said we will be joining the probe only if you get the protection. You never get the protection from there. ED took a action. Now you're claiming you're cribbling like vendetta politics is going on. Since last 14 months, in the same case where you are being now accused and a mastermind now, 14 months, Manish Sisodia is not getting a bail. 365 odd crores.
That's because it's PMLA. It's nearly impossible for a court to give you bail.
Let me complete. I'll give you the answer of that also. I'll give the answer of that also. Since last 14 months, he's in jail. Sanjay Singh is in jail since last 6 months. Vijay Nair is in jail since last few months. Point is, when you say this, vendetta politics is going on, you're disrespecting the honorable courts. Because on the order of the courts, these people are not getting the bail. Now coming to your point, because this is MLA, I'll give you 3 examples. Sanjay Rao, who was arrested in PMLA and got the relief from the honorable court. Kartik Chidambaram, P. Chidambaram. These are the cases where you got the relief. But in this case, because prima facie, Supreme Court has clearly said 338 crore rupees money trail has been found. So, and also in Sanjay Singh case, I read one line only that the prima facie, there's an evidence against the accused, which is Sanjay Singh. So my point is...
No, I asked you about perception. See, the legal battle will be fought in courts, and I know that in this case, you could blame the BJP today, but this is a law or the provision that predates their government from 2014, where it's the onus of proving your innocence is on the accused. These are very stringent legal provisions. It is what it is as it stands. And as I said, the courts will decide. But Harish Khurana, I asked you about perception. There is also a big section which is already openly murmuring whether this will backfire on you. So close to elections in Delhi, you are arresting a popular chief minister who's won 3 different mandates. Recently, the Aam Aadmi Party won a mandate at the MCD level, dethroning the BJP.
Shivani,
why should nobody see this as some sort of political vendetta?
Shivani, I think my people in Delhi or a country are intelligent enough and seeing all this, what is happening. I mean, you evade 9 summons. I mean, for you, Vipassana is more important. Honoring a law is not important. I mean, for you, elections in Madhya Pradesh are important. For you, Diwali is more important. But coming in front of ED and answering those questions are not important.
So you don't think that there could be a backfiring effect?
Not at all.
Galvanizing of the public opinion in support of India bloc?
No way. In fact, they were the people who were against corruption. I mean, Congress, they were pani pee ke gaali nikalte the ye log Congress ko. People have seen Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, and this is the one. You're saying a perception. This is a letter written by Congress chief, Delhi chief, alleging the scam.
Yes.
This was a letter written on 2nd June. Now, on what face will you go to in front of public and say, "Wo letter jhoota tha, the allegation was wrong. Today, because we have done a close hand, that is right now."
No, I asked that question. That question would be in public's mind, but it is for the Congress to answer. I want to very quickly bring in AP Singh. AP Singh, I have a couple of questions for you. From what I have heard transpire in the hearing today, two questions come to mind. One is that a lot of approver statements or CDR data is being cited as proof. But shouldn't an agency have more than approver statements to, book someone or regard someone as guilty, as in the case of Arvind Kejriwal?
Definitely. There has to be more material. And you cannot have a conviction only on the basis of an approver statement. But because the courts are not accepting, first of all, there has been a liquor scam. I think everybody has accepted that, that there was a liquor scam. Now, the question is, who all are involved in that liquor scam and how far did it go? Does it go up to the chief minister, or was it something done below him, among his ministers or among his officials? But there has been a liquor scam, and they have enough evidence, it seems, because you see all the petitions given in the court, the way the EDs arguing the case. There is definitely material. Now, the question is whether the chief minister himself is involved or not, and that is for the court to decide.
Yeah, I asked you that question because in presenting Arvind Kejriwal's direct individual role, they have mentioned a lot of approver statements who have corroborated that yes, Arvind Kejriwal asked them for 100 crore kickbacks that went eventually to the Aam Aadmi Party's coffers in lieu of tweaking the liquor policy. So would they need more than that or not? The other question,
definitely.
The other question is that is it wrong for him to be treated as guilty, as the ED has almost said today that we are considering him guilty both individually and vicariously because of his position as the head controlling the functioning of the Aam Aadmi Party. Is it fair for an agency to do so without or before actually properly investigating him, interrogating him? They haven't really done that.
No, so just now it's an arrest. I mean, it's not a conviction. It's just an arrest. And the arrest is because if you don't cooperate with an agency, if you're non-cooperating, if you're not appearing, then the agency has a right to take you under custody and then to examine you and then to interrogate you. And it's quite possible that they may want to make him face some of those approvers
accused, yes,
and cross-examine them and get the truth out. So you do need to do that, and for that reason, it's quite possible. And also, he's obviously not been cooperating with the agencies.
Yes.
Because
I don't think he did himself any favors by not attending any of the summons.
Absolutely, he should have.
Plus, what else has been alleged?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That brings me to Siddharth once again. I've got limited time. I'll give all three of you a minute each. Siddharth, this is why possibly there is lack of sympathy for Arvind Kejriwal. He followed the Hemant Soren model and look where it has brought him. If you evade 9 summons, why should the public believe that you got enough chance or were not treated fairly? In fact, he got possibly treatment even more longer rope than an ordinary citizen would.
Then by that logic, Shivani, if the enforcement directorate is called as a constitutional authority which has to be respected, then the Constitution of India 405-page document doesn't have single word called enforcement directorate, but the Delhi CM, the term Delhi CM comes many times. So isn't it also the Delhi enforcement directorate's responsibility to treat a constitutional authority as per constitution? The example here is that the then Gujarat Chief Minister was denied a visa to the US, but the same person, when he became the Prime Minister of India, US extended all the protocols. So constitutionalism goes both ways. You cannot say that ED is a constitutional authority, but the Delhi Chief Minister is not. It's the other way around.
No, I'm not questioning ED's authority or the court's authority. I'm actually, again, purely asking you about perception about how this case has gone forward. Ashpreet, very quickly, 30 seconds to you as well. Is public sympathy really with the opposition leaders who are crying foul about Indian democracy?
100%, not just the public sympathy, the sentiment. The world is feeling that the Bharatiya Janata Party is turning autocratic, and the Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to do away with the opposition all at once by initiating raids, actions, arrests, and whatnot. My one question to the Bharatiya Janata Party is, Shivani, and I'd expect an answer. Out of the blue, the Bharatiya Janata Party decides, the union decides to challenge Pankaj Bansal versus Union of India judgment, which is a judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, out of all days today. And this judgment basically says that the ED has to furnish the reasons for arrest in writing. My question to the Bharatiya Janata Party is, why out of all days today you had to do this?
Okay,
and number two,
let me take
it has been dismissed. It has been dismissed by the Honorable Supreme Court.
No, so that just shows that there is actually courts to strike that balance. And these cases have been in court and they haven't found any relief. No, I've run out of time. Unfortunately, I've run out of time. I do thank all of our guests for joining us.